Alright, I'm officially back posting videos on the channel. I took a bit of a break as I went to Sydney on a road trip, but even when I got back, I guess I got a bit lazy and didn't upload. As we're approaching the second half of the year, I really want to try my best to keep up this YouTube channel, posting consistent, quality content. Anyway, last night I caught up on the worst weekend in recent boxing history. Saudi put on two back-to-back boxing cards featuring the likes of Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and the number one face of boxing, Canelo. What could go wrong? Well, both cards were absolute shit. I don't blame Turkey for these fights not living up to expectations. I mean, on paper, these were pretty decent matchups, but the performances from Devin Haney and Canelo in particular were piss poor. They won their fights, but they didn't come to fight at all, if that makes sense. Let's talk about the Ryan Garcia-Devin Haney card first. Instead of just making the Devin Haney vs Ryan Garcia rematch, they were both featured on the same card fighting different opponents. When this was first announced, I actually didn't mind this approach as I typically don't like immediate rematches. However, we've also seen this type of card with the Day of Reckoning Saudi events, when Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder were co-headlining and fighting separate boxers. It was clear that they were trying to use this card as a vehicle to build up and promote a potential AJ vs Wilder showdown, and even though AJ knocked out his opponent in Otto Wallen, Deontay Wilder was not so fortunate and got destroyed by Joseph Parker. Wilder losing that night kinda mitigated any potential hype or build up for an AJ vs Wilder fight, and the same exact thing happened with Ryan Garcia this past weekend. Ryan Garcia vs Rolly Romero ended in Rolly knocking down Garcia in the first round and then beating him on points. To be honest, after watching the Devin Haney fight, I didn't actually tune into the main event. I heard that the Ryan Garcia fight wasn't much better, and I don't know why every boxer this week played things so safe. Anyway, with Ryan Garcia losing, it doesn't completely kill a rematch with Devin Haney, but Ryan is probably going to have to rebuild with a lesser opponent. Devin Haney is then going to fight someone else in the meantime and could potentially lose, so we might not end up seeing the rematch for a couple of years. It really just depends on how long it takes Ryan Garcia's team to turn around, rack up a win or two, and then finally make the Devin Haney fight as fast as possible. Although the first Garcia-Haney fight was entertaining, after Devin Haney vs Jose Ramirez, I sorta never want to watch this dude box again. On paper, again, this should have been a decent scrap, but Ramirez couldn't put anything together really, as Devin was just running away on the back foot the entire fight and maybe popping out a jab. I'm not exaggerating, this fight was boring as fuck, and it felt like watching a light sparring session. Not even a dirty, hard sparring session where they're actually trying to hurt each other. No, it was just tippy-tap from Devin Haney for 12 rounds. Now, I'm not against people boxing on the back foot. There are plenty of fighters that can do it and still be entertaining. Bivol comes to mind when he fought Beterbiev. He was on his bike trying his best to circle out of Beterbiev's power shots, but at the same time, he was slick and down to throw combinations. Devin Haney had no kind of urgency whatsoever, no do-or-die mentality, no sting or power on his shots. It was shit boxing, to be honest with you. I mean, it worked, he was given the decision win, but who was gonna care to see Devin Haney fight after this? He's a former world champion, for fuck's sake. He shouldn't have these sort of lackluster performances. Especially when we had Eubank Jr. versus Ben the week before. It's just insane the difference between their performances. In terms of pure skill, Devin Haney is better. Eubank Jr. and Ben aren't in the same league as Devin Haney. But still, they poured every last drop of energy into their fight. They were fighting for their fucking lives, and it made every combat sports fan so invested as a result. There were no belts on the line, none of them were champions, but they made people care. They created the best fight in 2025. Throwing caution to the wind, saying fuck it, and just scrapping. As soon as I thought Eubank Jr. was finished, he came back the following round and poured it on Ben. It was back and forth, It was violent, it was beautiful. They were fighting for something bigger than themselves and gave boxing fans such an incredible event. Devin Haney, former undisputed world champion, couldn't deliver that at all, and it was fucking insulting. Canelo vs Scull the following day wasn't much better. Actually, I think it might be even worse. Canelo was plodding forward, throwing one punch around it seemed like, and Scull was running a marathon around the ring and not engaging with Canelo at all. A lot of boxing fans blame Scull, and yeah, he was a negative fighter that night, but also Canelo wasn't doing shit either. Most of Canelo's shots that landed were targeting the body, and again, it seemed like a fucking sparring session. I'm sorry that I'm not describing the fight in incredible detail, but literally it was Canelo walking forward, throwing a hook now and again, and Scull being on the back foot. That's the whole fight, no further synopsis needed. Even Terence Crawford, the guy who has been chasing Canelo for a fight, hounding him for over 2 years now, looked like he was about to fall asleep during the main event. After Canelo won a decision against Scull, Crawford got in the ring and had a bit of a face-off with him. Now, I'm a combat sports fan, I'm obviously going to watch a Crawford vs Canelo fight. But after Canelo's most recent performance, I'm not gonna lie, it does taint my excitement a bit. I hope Crawford truly brings the fight to Canelo and makes it a bout worth watching, because over Canelo's last 3 performances, I've been bored. Each outing has been more and more lackluster recently. I also hope Turkey recognizes now that building up major boxing fights like AJ vs Wilder, Ryan Garcia vs Devin Haney, by having them fight lesser opposition on the same card alongside each other, doesn't necessarily work. Devin Haney was supposed to do a number on Ramirez, but instead he just increased the fucking step count on his Fitbit by running the entire fight. Ryan Garcia was supposed to make a statement versus Rolly, but instead he got rolled to the fucking canvas. Canelo was supposed to knock out Scull and emphatically call out Crawford for a mega fight, but Canelo shit the bed, and while I'm going to still watch a Crawford vs Canelo fight, that performance dampened the hype. Dear Saudi, just make the mega fights first and foremost. These warm-up events aren't working in anyone's favor. All I've got to say to wrap this up is thank God for Inoue saving the weekend by putting on easily, far and away, the most exciting fight. Back and forth action, Inoue gets dropped, Cardenas gets dropped, it was great. I'll talk about Inoue and his most recent fight tomorrow. I'll catch you down the road.